Well, the top four is on the line in this particular matchup. You definitely do not want to miss out on this one as we welcome you to the eISL powered by Coca-Cola. Before we start this event, a huge shout out to our associate sponsor, Hero, our esports partners, Nordwind Gaming, our platform partners, PlayStation, and our digital collectibles partners, Terra Virtua, for making this event happen. And joining along with me is, as usual, Azim and well, FC Goa going up against Jamshedpur FC. Someone's dreams of heading into the top four might just be put on a halt today.
Yeah, lots at stake for both teams. This is, of course, the end of the league stages where the battle for the top four places is ongoing. Of course, we will have two 1v1s and one co-op as always. And the top four teams will battle it out in the finals from the 19th to the 21st of March. Also, the top two team members will be battling to represent India at FGS 2022.
Oh yeah, and that's the golden ticket that we've been talking about, right? Only one of the winners will be going ahead with a heavy pocket, right? 78 lakhs on the line, out of which the first position gets 15 lakh rupees, so on reduces down. And for the MVP, we do have 4 lakhs plus personalized NFT of the player by our digital collectible partners. That's Terra Virtua out there. But more than that, once we take a look at the leaderboard, we'll have a clear picture of what we're really talking about, right? 6th and 7th position team Jamshedpur FC, having 17 games played, have managed to garner 23 points. But FC Goa have managed to do the same with just 14. But likewise, they haven't have had a really eventful run, right? Not the kind of a result that they were anticipating against Chennai FC yesterday, but it's still fine. It's something that they can live with. They still have a few more games to go. If FC Goa manage to win this one, their chances of making it to the top four become really strong. But if Jamshedpur FC loses this one, I think their run for the top four might potentially be coming to an end.
Yeah, I think if Jamshedpur FC lose this one, it's pretty much down to if Bengaluru FC or Northeast United FC wins any of their matches, then that's Jamshedpur FC's top four chances out of the window. But I'm excited to see what our matchups are going to be because, of course, this was, I think, one of the first matches that we did see in the eISL. And we saw Afnan absolutely demolished by Akash Ash. And we are going to see round 2 of that. And I'm very, very excited. It was 6-0 that game. I remember distinctly. Afnan's first game in a LAN environment. I ended up speaking to him after the game as well. But FC Goa, despite that, did manage winning the game. And there he is, the man with the new haircut. Is it going to be the same luck as yesterday, the same fortunes of Ankit Gupta? Or is it going to be a comeback trail for FC Goa? Because lots of games in hand, but all of them really seem like must-win matches at this point.
Oh yeah, but before we head in, you did talk about the previous matchup. Let's take a look at stats that was there. It's 6-1 for Afnan, but that one doesn't really matter, right? It was still a 6 goals thromping win for Akash Ash, and V Sharma had been there to do the cleanup job. And after that, Afnan really did a nice recovery, making sure that every single chance that was being given by V Sharma to him, he was there to convert that into a goal. And now, Jamshedpur FC, finally the players are really smiling, but they know at the back of their minds, the back of their heads, that this match is so crucial for them. But at the same time, this match is equally or even more important for FC Goa because at a certain point, there were like 2-3 games cushion for them, which has sort of reduced down to just 2 or maybe 1 for a few of those players. But there you have it, the first matchup. We do have Arvin Mas going up against V Sharma, so they have pretty much changed the order. Just no change in the previous lineups. They're still going up against each other. Afnan has been looking really confident, and Akash has been a little bit under the weather, right? Hasn't fully recovered yet to his original form, which he had during that eISL. But for Arvin, it's going to be so important against V Sharma to pull off a win.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the last chance really for Jamshedpur FC. They've had a couple of bad results along the way where it could have been much more comfortable passage into that top 4, but they have seen the likes of Bengaluru FC and Northeast United FC now sort of jump the queue ahead of them for that top 4 spot. So it is all about getting that win today and then, of course, hoping that other results go their way. It's interesting to see what their last 2 matches would be. And I will just have a look at my sheet on the side to see who they'll be playing in those last two matches, because really they're going to be absolutely vital showdowns, and it's going to be very exciting right till I'm sure the last match day of the league stage. But we have kicked off right now. We do see FC Goa in their familiar white away jersey, and Jamshedpur FC, of course, in the home very nicely designed red jersey, and V Sharma taking the attack forward straight away. He'll want to get off to a quick start. He did get off to a good start in the last game, but then it all sort of went horribly downhill.
Oh yeah, I mean it indeed. And for V Sharma, that is where we really asked him, what's wrong or what went wrong, and he was clearly not satisfied with the kind of performance that he'd had. But today he's looking to change it all, as finally as we are in the game Jamshedpur FC. We've seen Arvind Mas to be one of those players who really loves to defend and plays a lot on those counter attacks. We haven't seen a lot of his aggressive outings out right now. Usually Akash is the one who goes for those big goal scoring games, but now V Sharma determined as ever, and clearly needs to score the opener over here, passing it on towards Ronaldo Nazario. A little bit heavy on the foot over there, and the possession has been stolen away.
Yeah, and now Jamshedpur FC. Arvind Mas not been the most prolific goal scorer in this tournament, just averaging just under 2 goals per match. So, goal scoring generally has been the problem for him. Largely a fairly good defensive player. Doesn't concede too many, although he did concede 3 to V Sharma the last time they played. That was also a pretty pulsating affair. It was a 3-2, and I think V Sharma had to make a lot of tactical changes to come back into that game. I think there was a point where Arvind was leading that match 2-1, and then Vanchar just made a tactical switch, got his fullbacks forward in his preferred 4-1-2-1-2 formation, which doesn't seem to be his preferred formation anymore. He's gone for the more meta 4-4-2, or shall we say 4-2-4 kind of formation almost, and taking a few risks at the back over there, but no harm done. And yeah, I think now, so long into the tournament I think all the players have really they have an idea of how each player is going to approach the game, and you really now have to keep your opponents guessing, keep doing things that they don't quite expect, and that's really whoever can adapt the most and make those subtle changes to their play style the most will be the people who can get success in these late stages of the tournament, as V Sharma taking his time, building up very, very patiently, knocking on the door. But can he break it down? That's the question. Not for the moment.
Yeah, not for the moment. But I think V Sharma has been really persistent, right, in terms of how he's been building those plays up. He's been going in. In the final third, he's been having those little issues in closing things down. But I'm pretty sure by the end of this game, he should be getting back to his old pristine form that he had. He needs to realize that he's one of the most dependable guys. Guy compared with Imad in terms of being really consistent, because that had been the go to tell story with V Sharma when initially the eISL commenced, right? Afnan used to on most occasions give up on those games, and it was V Sharma with the cleanup job, and he never disappointed, right? He pushed the game towards a co-op game, and that's where they found the win. Up until lately, where Afnan has sort of taken over the driver's seat, he's been looking really confident. He's been loving the LAN environment. Things have changed, but V Sharma was still pretty consistent then. But it has been a roller coaster of a journey for him, especially V Sharma in the ISL, and he had been showing some promising signs. But now this could all change with Ronaldo passing it on towards Kante, De Bruyne back towards Ronaldo, and he takes his time. He takes his sweet little time to build things up, and once he gets the opportunity, he definitely takes a shot. But he needs to understand that he cannot overthink that, and in that little moment, we really could feel that is what exactly happened, as the attack was foiled, now susceptible to a counter attack.
Yeah, I just wonder if maybe it's the sense of the pressure now in the late stages of the tournament that Vanchar is not quite going for those instinctive finishes. He's waiting and hoping for that perfect shot, but sometimes just need to take that shot. We've seen it with so many occasions. We saw it in the last game as well with Adi Zima taking those shots, buying a ticket, winning the lottery with a couple of those goals, and sometimes you need to do that. I think that's one aspect we haven't seen from V Sharma at all. He's not a guy who likes to cross the ball. He's not a guy who likes to take those long shots. He's could say a bit of a purist in the way he approaches the game, and had the opportunity there to slide, and Eusebio might still be able to, as I think Mas is reading him quite well for these opening 37 minutes. He's managed to shut down everything that V Sharma has thrown his way, and as soon as he gets into this position, it's all very compact, and I think a little bit more decisiveness, a little bit more speed in that final penalty box is what's lacking from V Sharma right now.
Oh yeah, and even for Arvind Masa at this particular point has been more about being on those defensive sides, right? He's been a little bit on the defensive run. He's been saving himself from V Sharma's attacks, and then on the counter attack he tries to build up. But I think V Sharma has had a decent job so far. But for now, Eusebio passing towards De Bruyne. We've seen some really ridiculous goals coming in from De Bruyne, even outside the box on two different multiple occasions. But Eusebio, all of it could change and a lot of drama. But thankfully, no errors being caused. And there you have the first half whistle being blown. And well, nothing really separating these two players.
Yeah, I think saved by the whistle a little bit over there, Arvind Mas, because there was a massive counter-attack opportunity on for V Sharma on that end. And, well, he's going to need to just be a little bit more decisive in that penalty box. I think that's the only thing that's been lacking. I think V Sharma otherwise has played a very, very good game so far. And Arvind Mas as well. I think defensively, rock solid. He's always forcing Vanchach to make that decision, always forcing him to just have that little bit of doubt, always has the defender position just right so that he thinks twice about taking the shot. So he's doing his job and he knows it's a pressure game. It's a huge, huge game. And he needs to get that result to keep Jamshedpur FC in the conversation for that top four.
Yeah, I think with just 1 point, this is somewhere these teams cannot accept that decision, right? They know that those 3 points only will ensure their survival, and more than ever for Jamshedpur FC, it's literally a sword hanging over their heads, right? No other way which we can perfectly describe it, right? For the other teams like ATKMB, Hyderabad FC, Odisha FC, we know it's pretty much over. Even for Kerala Blasters FC. But apart from
Yeah.
that, all the other teams still have a dying chance, still have a contention inside making it to the top four, and they've got to hope that they win their games, their opponents, their competitors draw out on all their games. That's the only way that they can make it happen. But for now, again, Arvind Mas looking to be on the attacking fronts, and finally, with Ronaldo Nazario manages to score. No, it's an offside. Oh, I thought it was
Yeah.
slightly in.
Yeah, I think the flag went up pretty early over there. So, the game still allowed Arvind that little bit of hope. It allowed him the joy of just smashing it into the net. Always a good moment in that sense to just get your finishing radar on, even if it is offside. It gives you that confidence to be like, okay, I got into this position and managed to find the back of the net. Now coming forward with Messi is V Sharma. Lots of room over there for De Bruyne. Again, a lot of players would have been tempted to take that shot, but V Sharma, of course, that's not how he approaches the game. He always wants to get that short-fire opportunity in the box. He might get the ball slid into Eusebio over there, and oh god, he gets that horribly, horribly wrong.
Oh yeah, and now this is the moment where V Sharma, well, he's been persistent, right? Hasn't been that much of a clinical player like he earlier was, and clearly we could see that is pertaining to that haircut nerve that he's had. Even taking the chance and the shot with Eusebio, nothing much coming out of it. Just a corner, instant taken a short pass just before Arvind could have everything settled
Oh
down,
no.
just to give it away towards Ronaldo. And now it's a potential counter attack in a promising one at that, in which Arvind Mas has a really good chance to score.
Yeah, and again, I saw like with Messi over there is actually a very good shooting position. I'm surprised he hasn't taken at least one of those with either Messi or De Bruyne. Now, this time the ball chipped in, well dealt with in defense over there. And now again looking to counter, he gets the ball wide to Messi. Will bring the fullbacks forward as well. Needs to release that ball quickly, but manages to just use that ball roll and turn away from danger. And once he gets into these positions, Arvind has looked very comfortable. I mean, he's perfectly happy for Vanchach to just have that ball at the edge of the box and just keep passing it around. He's like, all right, you keep that ball there. I have no problem. I can deal with you. Whatever you throw at me from here. And I think that's where he's going to mix it up. He's got to do something that Arvind does not expect him to do. because he's able to read everything right now. You can see, and I do feel that there's more danger for V Sharma of getting hit on the counter attack than there is for Arvind Mas when he attacks him.
Oh yeah, and this
Oh,
could be a very good chance. But I really felt, with Ronaldo, had he kind of held on, just received the first touch and then got into a good position, and had he gone for the shot, then could have been a different story. But yeah, ideally, again, with Ronaldo, a player of his stature, you would expect he might just go and convert that one. But not the case, really. And 70 minutes have gone past by, and Nazib, it has been a no goals affair so far. Both the players clearly getting frustrated, and so are the fans at this moment. They're searching for that opening. Chances are being created, but in the final third, the players messing up a little bit, and as a result of which, we haven't seen a 1-0 on either of the sides.
yeah, I do think that both players, I think particularly, actually Arvind is doing his job on attack. That's his game plan. He needs to just keep hitting him on the break. Of course, the shot that fell to Ronaldo over there fell on the weak foot. He would have been much happier for that to be a headed opportunity, because they would probably have ended up on target and forced the keeper at the very least to make a save. But for Vanchaj, he just needs to get a little bit more creative. We do see that pause has been cued, so maybe he's got some other ideas. Maybe he'll throw on like a Neymar or someone else. Gets a little, almost got a bit fortunate with the bounce of the ball over there. And again, Arvind will want to keep this ball for as long as he can. Finds the ball in behind to Mbappe. Again, big opportunity here. He has CR7 in the box as well, waiting, but marshaled well. But now the cutback is on. Can he get that shot away? You can see 5 wide bodies in that box over there. De Bruyne with the shot. And on the weaker foot, he was never as likely to find that corner. But again, that's good to see. We want to see players trying to do something different. We want to see more shots at goal. And it's something that maybe FC Goa and V Sharma need to think about as well.
Yeah, I think this is where Arvind Mas did take a page out of Akash's book, right? That long finesse shot. Akash has been doing that lately, and it has worked out for him. So, again, Arvind, sort of hoping that in these dire situations, maybe shots like this do work out, right? And it was not the case. And the final 7 minutes, we are yet to see a closure from either of them, and both of them are getting in, getting inside the box. But in the final third, the shots clearly not going the way they've wanted. And the same, I think V Sharma wants to keep the final attack to himself with Mbappe. He's got to get past through at least one defender, or has to take a shot from somewhere, has to find a good angle. Does have really good weak foot, but gives it away at such a crucial moment. This is where Arvind Mas is. This is the last chance potentially. But no, the drama does not end over there, as V Sharma will retrieve the possession. And in those final few moments, can he score when it is much required? And no.
No, again, I think just trying to get that shot away a little bit too much of a snapshot. The one time where he actually needed to work a little bit of space, he decided to go for that shot early on. And this is the absolute last chance now for Arvind. Can he get something? Nope. It is going to end in a draw, 0-0. And 2 draws back to back for V Sharma in his individual games, you would have to say. And I think he needs to take a page out of his teammates' book. We did see Afnan score that absolute screamer, that finesse shot against Saranj yesterday, and that could have proved to be, and it did prove to be, a decisive goal. So where he says, just let it be. It's fine. I'll do the job. I'm going to get my revenge up against Akash. And for Jamshedpur FC, they'll be happy. They're still in it. And if Akash can get the win up against Afnan, that puts them in a very strong position going into game 3.
Yeah, I mean, the memories of the match hasn't really gone out of Afnan's heads, right? It still haunts him because, these were those early few initial phases where Akash had been so deadly. He was an absolute pure beast. And then he sort of transitioned into a cute little teddy, right? That is what we've seen. We haven't seen that dominating side of Akash Ash, after those few games. But yeah, I think a very, very good human being at heart. Surely trying to make sure that his club sees it through. Has had that little dip in his performance, and most of it going to the crossbar, most of the shots. But Afnan, yeah, like we said, he's been in a stellar run. He's been at the highest of his days. He tried his hearts out against the big man yesterday, and he's been impressive. Afnan, no doubts at that. He's been playing out of his minds. So we've got to see if this time he can at least get that W instead of a D.
Yeah, well, I mean, as neutrals, we always want to see everything going into Game 3 to be decided. So, well, I think a 2-all, I think, would be a nice scoreline for the next game, but let's see. And Afnan, I'm sure, will want to get the win. And I think he's quietly confident. And there we go. We do have Arvind in the studio waiting to have a chat with us. We'll head on. Arvind, good draw for you, would you say? I think very defensively solid performance, but did you think you could have won that?
Yeah, I could have won the. I had a couple of chances that Ronaldo shot. I should have taken a touch and passed it to someone else to score. That's the things, na.
Yeah. I mean, the way things have been shaping by right now, I think this is your decider match, right? This particular
Mm.
match holds the fate of where Jamshedpur FC is heading, because we still feel you've got that little bit of a chance of making it to the top four. But for that, you've got to win. So, with Akash
Mm.
Ash and a lot of pressure coming up, what do you think? Do you have any plans to go up against Afnan?
Actually, no, we don't have any pressure because we are just playing for no, we are not taking pressure now because what it happens, let it happens like that we are playing. But he will clutch it 100%. He is in a good form. He has beaten multiple good players in this tournament.
Well, we're eagerly waiting to see
Yeah.
the kickoff of the next game. So we let you get over to the bench over there, and all the best for you and Akash for the remainder of the
Thank you,
match.
thank you guys, thank you.
Cheers. Well, I mean, clearly, not really happy with his performance. Really felt he could
Yeah.
do better. But yeah, we've been talking about Arvind, a really sound player at his FIFA, right? Most of the players coming out from the Chennai circuit have always impressed us.
Yeah.
You talk about Akash, you talk about players like Naveen. Per se, Arvind, very sound players. They've got their basics absolutely right. It's just about having a good day in the office. And even if you talk more, get into more deep inside the circuit. You've got players like Imad also from Bengaluru, I believe.
Yeah.
He's been also playing a really good game of FIFA, right? One of the most consistent players I must consider. And yeah, I'm really excited to see where it really goes down the line, because this matchup is so very important for Jamshedpur FC to win, because against FC Goa, you would not want to take your chances in the co-op matchup at least. So yeah, I think I'm gonna start to figure out. I'm gonna start racking up my brains. Is it gonna be Afnan getting his good sweet revenge, or is it gonna be another dominating run by Akash, or is it gonna be a close game where we have no results at all? What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be a close match for sure, and Afnan will. I mean, he won't admit it, but at the back of the mind somewhere, there's going to be that little thing of, this guy beat me 6-1
Yeah.
right at the start. But I have come, I have come such a long way since the tournament started, and I'm playing with confidence now. And you can see that now he's the guy taking game two. He's the guy who's taking the pressure matches instead of V Sharma. So we've seen a lot of teams evolve that dynamic that way. We've seen it with Chennai and FC, where we all thought Saraj was going to be the main man, but then Naveen really started to step in. We saw it with SC's Bengal, where Ankit Gupta was on top, and now it's Shayantan who's doing all the heavy lifting. So it's important. I think he'll take confidence from the fact that he is that main man, and I get the feeling he's going to play with freedom and really try to go for the win.
Yeah, I think that's the ideal way you've got to go through. But again, Afnan, as we've seen in the past, is messed up a little bit when under extreme pressure, and this is exactly the matchup that he should be worried about, because a lot on the line over here, right? Because ideally, on most of the occasions, we do see V Sharma coming in playing second, but Afnan hasn't been in the situations before where there hasn't been any outcome out of V Sharma's game, and he needs to go and show his hearts out over there. But before we head into the matchup, let's take a look at the highlights. Did not have a lot to talk about over there, but this is a previous matchup. This is a previous matchup, ladies and gentlemen, where Akash has absolutely thrown through Afnan, hitting those 6 goals up until the point we were just waiting for Afnan's misery to end.
Yeah, and you can see Afnan just looked like the young, vulnerable little boy sitting over there. But you can see, I think he's bulked up a bit as well. Maybe when hitting the gym in the hotel, he's started to really come of age over these last few months. But Yeah, I think this was a pretty devastating baptism by fire, shall we say, to the land environment of the eISL. And well, a little few laughs being exchanged across the tables over here. And I think as the sweat is wiped off the hands, we will be ready to go. There you go. Afnan now comes with his little full sleeve inner shirt as well. Comes in full uniform, wearing. He's got a nice little haircut going as well of late. So he's ready to go. One of the youngest players in the tournament. Not a particularly prolific goal scorer. Just scored the 20 in his 14 matches. But Akash, of course, started off as one of the early contenders for that MVP prize. But it sort of started to trail away post that 10th match or so, where they hit sort of a brick wall in terms of their form. Haven't won a lot of matches in the second half of the season. And Afnan will be hoping to get that early goal and put the pressure on Akash, who's been I think I don't know if there's a stat available for us, but I think he's the guy who's hit the frame of the goal more than anybody
Oh,
in
yeah.
the eISL so far.
I think him and Lokmanyu, if we could have an award for being the most unluckiest or whatever, having a most shots at goal at the crossbar, I think they would have definitely been the two contenders. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen, back with this matchup, everything on the line for Jamshedpur FC. They have to seal this through. And Akash Ash has done that in the past against Afnan, but against an Afnan 2.0, this is going to be so very difficult.
Yeah, it is going to be a challenge for both players. I'm sure Afnan will be feeling the heat himself, but he's gone into these big pressure matches and come out with the results in the past. Sometimes he's survived a little by the skin of his teeth. It's been sort of 5-4s and 3-4 kind of score lines, but he has managed to get the results. And he'll be quietly confident. I think the one thing that's improved massively over the tournament has been his defense. He's still a little bit weak in those 1v1 situations, but I think his defensive positioning is very very good, and he's still very instinctive once he gets into that box. So like V Sharma is a guy who overthinks, who likes to really think about his shot, almost is weighing up percentages and probabilities in his mind. Afnan, when he's on song, he's a more instinctive player. He's just going to get that trick move, get into the space, take that shot. Doesn't put too much into the percentages and the probabilities, and that has helped his game. I think we see over here, we're going to see him use those long finish shots from Messi as well. Wins an early corner, and yeah, I think playing that 4-2-3-1 formation, he's going to be looking to stay defensively solid while also being able to be effective on that counter attack.
Yeah, and at this point, when V Sharma knows that he could have clearly done a lot of things better, Afnan understands that it's a lot on the line, because initially when we did see FC Goa coming back after a long break, uh, we really thought they still have so many games they can easily catch up. It's going to be as easy as that, but clearly not the case over there.
Oh!
And this could go, Afnan. What on earth was that? A lot of the players really going for those chip shots, received it perfectly fine. And ideally, at this situation, players go a lot for those hard-hitting shots, but no, just chipped it through, and really working fine. And Akash Ash, well, he's not gone against Afnan 2.0, and finally understands why Afnan has been one of the most improved players in the ISL.
Oh, that was absolutely sickening for Akash. A beautiful chip into that far corner. At some level, I expected. The moment he got in that position, I was like, you know what, he's going to go for a chip. And he did exactly that. And he gets that early goal. The pressure squarely now on the Jamshedpur FC shoulders. They know that nothing less than a win will do. I mean, a draw will still keep them sort of mathematically in the equation. But really, it's a win that is the need of the hour for Jamshedpur FC. And there we see Akash working the shooting opportunity, takes the shot, and it is in. It's 1-1. A mistimed finish, you would have to say, and a little smile from Afnan acknowledging that it wasn't the best finish in the world, but still, hey, it's a goal.
Hey, as long as it's a goal, I mean, Akash would take it, right? Getting back into the fray right after, and look at that shot. Look at that shot. It was just bang on perfect. And yeah, I mean, at this point, Afnan would not really be pleased with instantly getting a counter goal conceded for himself. But it's so much more exciting than having no goals being scored, right? Jamshedpur FC 1, FC Goa 1. It's 22 minutes in, and this is exactly what the fans wanted. Someone to start scoring goals, and looks like this is going to be a high goal scoring affair. But from where we are right now, Messi, well, he's going to try and look for someone, but the ball has been stolen away by Akash and Azim at this particular point. It's getting so much more exciting, right? Having a fact that the first game was really very empty, very shallow. The chances were just being created, but this is getting so much more exciting.
Yeah, and there's a big chance over here we can spot that ball in. I think decided to play that pass a little bit too late, and the chance sort of was gone there. But again, with Messi, Akash is going to have to be wary of the fact that when he backs off from Messi in those wide areas, Afnan is going to go for those long-range meta finishes. And let's see if he can find it just a little under hit over there. And now, good counter-attacking opportunity for Akash and Jamshedpur FC. Can't quite get that going, but finds a good little ball slid in behind Hakimi. Pace and the afterburners of Mbappe are on. Let's see if he can go with Khulid. This might be a good opportunity to shoot, but decides not to take it. And, well, I think it fizzles out a little bit. But in these 1v1 situations, I still feel Akash is the clear favorite when he gets in there. When he gets 1v1 against a defender, he backs himself to beat the man and get the shot away like we did see for his first goal.
Oh yeah, and from around here, we've got to see if before the halftime, Asim, if we can find a break, right? If we can find anything at all. But now from where we are headed to, Jamshedpur FC clearly having their eyes that they want to have one more for them, trying to win the ball of Nan over there, not really succeeding with Hulit. He's looking for a good pass. He's been looking very sound. Akash Ash and Afran kind of have that same style, but Afran, that is the point where he kind of a little bit falls off. Where Akash has got that upper edge is the variety of shots, right? Akash Ash does not shy away from taking those finesse ones. But if steals like this have been done by Afnan, doesn't really matter. If you can make it count, a perfect lob ball, and that's a goal with Messi coming in for the camera reels, for the highlights. I love seeing Afnan doing stuffs like this. We're all enjoying throughout.
Yeah, and oh my goodness, that's an absolute shocker from the keeper. I think two shockers from both keepers. Donnarumma for Afnan, one very easy shot fly in, and I think it's sort of a case of one each for both of them. Two goalkeeper howlers on either end. Two brain freezes for both the keepers, you would have to say. And well, exactly what Afnan would have wanted, and I'm sure Akash will be very, very disappointed with that because, I mean, usually you would not expect that shot to go in, but I think just the fact that it was sort of hit into the ground and the bounce sort of did a number on the keeper over there. But still, Akash, no time to think about this. He gets straight back on the attack. Just before this happened, he was actually trying to take the sting out of the game, and he just gave the ball straight to Afnan. And that's the predatory instinct that Afnan has developed over this last year, ever since 2022 has come around. He's been lethal. He's been a really, really clinical finisher, and he's showing it again today.
Oh yeah, and this is exactly what we were talking about, right? Him being so really good, I must say. Those are the words. Like, look at the class of those two goals, right? And it's so difficult to decide which one was the better one, the first or the second. We saw Akash really responding back quickly, but the way things are going, Akash has to amp up his game because at this particular moment, they certainly cannot afford to lose this one, right? Because if FC Goa win this one out, they're guaranteed. They're guaranteed that 1 point, regardless of whatever the outcome of the game shall be. So for Akash Ash, I mean, the past the hatches have been buried. Doesn't matter if it was a 6-1 victory, but for now, FC Goa, they're absolutely stealing the show, and the star of it all is Afnan. He's waiting for his opportunistic moments. He's letting Akash Ash get really deep, get really ahead, and then he's making that really good defense. And then right after on the counter attacks, he's finding so much room and space and making sure that he capitalizes on it. And Akash being absolutely stupefied by the sheer quality and class of Afnan that is on display. But with the second half already commencing, we've got to see if Jamshedpur FC can find their way back in.
Yeah, and well, looking to get forward quickly. I think a little bit of a missed input over there that Akash will not be too pleased about, but gets in over there. Now with Messi. Oh dear, he's got that completely wrong. And you could see the chop back came, the finish was awaiting, and this is an excellent opportunity for a through ball. And he has played it a little under hit over there, but still Ronaldo will get in behind now. Surely will turn back and look for support, and he does, but does a dummy on Maldini over there. Excellent work. And now Afnan could potentially have thought about a shot there, decided not to. Acres of space to pick Pele out from. He's doing very well over here. Somehow bulldozing his way through, almost given away by Akash in his own box, and he breathes a sigh of relief. He's come away with it with no damage, and now he can look forward, and he'll really be looking to try and at least equalize this game so that Jamshedpur FC still have the opportunity to take all the 3 points that they need to stay in that top 4 battle.
Oh yeah, and Jamshedpur FC, the pressure is definitely building up, and at least by the 70th minute marker, Jamshedpur FC will need to find that equalizer at the very least. We're going to talk about the winner later on, but before that, if Afnan manages to shoot one more in, I think that could be lights out for them. So they've got to be very careful, be very, and FC Goa at the same time cannot afford to give away the ball like this, especially at such critical positions. Thankfully, it was not really capitalized, but the position retained back in their favors. Let's see if Afnan can build one more out of this one with Mbappe. He's going to try and make something happen. Was looking for that left back, but could not find Cancelo there.
Yeah, well, I think the ball was just deflected out for a throw. It looked for a moment that Afnan had just kicked it out himself, but well, that wasn't the case. It was, of course, well defended by Akash. And Afnan now, I think he can afford to slow things down just a little bit, just pass that ball around back and forth a little bit if he wants to. Sort of like what Akash was trying to do once he got that equalizer. This is a good opportunity though. Great little scoop turn over there, and now with Mbappe, let's see what he has in his locker. Great little elastico over there. Getting away, drives that in towards Ronaldo, but of course too many bodies in the box, and Akash manages to get it cleared. He does have the ball in behind if he spots it, but now it has been covered by Afnan very well. He spotted that immediately, and again, I think that is one of the merits. If there are any amateur or aspiring players in there, that is one of the chief merits of manual switching. If you're still using auto switching, just turn that nonsense off, get into manual switching and play like the pros.
Oh yeah, I mean that just gets you so much more control over the game. But for what we have to offer right now, FC Goa, they also know this matchup is so important, and making sure he has himself hydrated with all that H2O. But Kashash, no time to lament over the losses right now. He needs to score one, and he needs to do this quick. Time has been running out. Time is of the absolute essence, and haven't really seen so much out of him. That that attacking flair, that monstrosity from Akashash has been clearly been missing over the past couple of days, and I think it has got a lot to do with the pressure that these players are taking over their head. Right, it's the experience that matters towards the early end, towards the end, and yeah, being relatively new players to such studio events, haven't really dealt with so much pressure. Have to deal with the brunt of it. But let's see if Jamshedpur FC can manage to at least score a draw out of this one, maybe push it to the co-op game, and could have been a good pass, but Ruben Diaz receiving it, and now it's FC Goa's ball, and they've got a good chance to score.
It's quite an interesting substitution that Akash has made over there. He's taken off Hakimi and brought on Rafael Varane at right back. So that's quite strange, because I'm not quite sure. Rafael Varane, of course, excellent to have at centre back, but I'm not sure why you would want him at right back. Maybe he plans later on to go to a 3 at the back and maybe go for an ultra attacking 3-4-3 formation, because he has to find something. He has to do something different now. Getting that ball to Cancelo. Will he go for a cross over here? Doesn't have options around him. I think a cross would be a good idea. He does find De Bruyne, and now with Hullet had the opportunity to find Ronaldo there, decide not to take it. Now with De Bruyne, cuts in, surely has to shoot, but blocked off. Still the opportunity for Akash. Will he take that shot? He cuts in with Mbappe. Great shooting opportunity and in to the top corner. Akash is still alive and kicking here.
Oh yes, just when he needed the most, he finally scores. And finally, Akash Ash can breathe a little bit sigh of relief. And now all he's got to do is make sure that he does not concede any. And all those changes in his formations over there, finally working things out, having those extra men up, and he has to go all in. And at this point, Azim, now you've got to say it. Are they looking for a draw? Are they gonna, place all their chips on the next matchup, or both these players are they gonna be looking for that winner goal? Because going ultra attacking opens you a lot towards those counter attacks coming in your way. So, what do you think should be the right way of approach?
Well, I think both players, after all the efforts they've put in, will, I am sure at this point, have first of all have their hearts pumping, and secondly, they'll be a bit afraid of losing this game. I mean, all that hard work, and suddenly you lose it, and suddenly you only have 1 point available to you. So, I mean, Afnan, of course, he has the luxury of those few games in hand and can potentially say, you know what, let me try to win it right now. But I think Akash would be playing it very, very safe at this moment. He knows that it's so high stakes at this point that you can't really risk trying to leave your defense exposed. It's a really difficult call to make. Do you stick? Do you twist? It's so difficult. But will Afnan make the decision for him? If he can just suddenly grab a goal over here, and he's worked a good position now with Vinicius. We remember Vinicius got into a very good position for Afnan a few games ago, but that 3-star weak foot is what let him down, and he vowed that day, since that day, he told us in his interview that he's never putting Vinicius on the left flank again. We do see Vinicius on the right, justifiably so. But now Akash coming forward, a big opportunity, but his own player took the ball off him. It's unbelievable. And now Afnan has the last attack to himself.
And he goes for a long ball in. I do not know if that's the best of the ideas, because Maldini makes sure that he receives it, and he's got to make the play happen really quick and fast, because if he misses this one out, then the match is pretty much over with that outside. And there you can see the final whistle blowing. And Azim, it is of course going to be the final game that turns out to be a decider between these two teams over here. And clearly has been really end to end for what it is. And we've got to see if things really work out for either of these teams in the final game.
Yeah, and of course, I do think for viewers who are just joining in, the scoreline that you just saw for the first game was incorrect. It actually ended up 0-0.
Goalless, yeah.
So I'm sure we can have that corrected. But I did speculate that the next game might be 2-2. Again, that is not a win for Arvind Mas. It's actually a 0-0 draw. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this pans out going into game 3 with both games drawn. And now it's everything on the line. All 3 results are possible.
Yeah, I think it's like we said, right, a clarification there. The first game was completely goalless. I'm sure that's being fixed right now, and it all comes down to FC Goa's court, right, where they've been the better teams in terms of co-op. But lately a lot of teams have dealt with the way they play, right. It has usually always been about B Sharma being the one creating all the spaces and the openings and getting the right passes, and Afnan, the clinical player, to score the goal. But this particular game had been pretty interesting earlier round in the first half for both these players. They're having no stones unturned, and towards the end it got much more spicier with Akash scoring their final 80th minute goal. And then we really thought for a moment that maybe we could also see a winner. And look at this goal. As if it felt like the goalkeeper was like, keep the ball away from me.
Yeah. It's almost like he's social distancing from the ball over there. But he did manage to get the goal in the 80th minute. Worked this really, really well. Got the shooting opportunity and bang into the top corner. And you could see, pumped up about that. He knew a big, big moment. And of course, the top 4 dream is still alive. I think both very, very closely contested games. I don't think you could pick any major pointers out of either game. And it's absolutely on a knife edge over here. Let's see now who shows the bravery to go for that win in game 3.
Oh, it's so difficult to say at this point, right? Especially with what is on the line, their qualification, their chance to stay in the eISL, and all these players. It's going to be so daunting for them, if they know that no matter how many games they win, they're not going to qualify. They're going to have to spend the rest of their days inside the hotel room, just aching to go back to their homes, and that's not going to happen, right? You come out, you do not have that motivation anymore, and that's not the way players would want it. But as the story suggests, only the top four are going to be heading off to the playoffs. But for what we have right now for you guys, ladies and gentlemen, is well, a few more clarifications, and yeah, the thing, it was still nil-nil, and the production will of course correct that one out. But regardless, I mean, in terms of the outcomes, um, the goals do speak that it's the co-op game that turns out to be the decider between these two clubs.
Yeah, and that has been the case for the last 4 or 5 games that we've been watching in the eISL. I think almost every game has come down in recent times to the co-op, and that's generally what happens in the late game, in the end game, so called, for the tournament. You could say that's when it gets so nervy, so intense. Nobody wants to lose that game in the first 1 or 2 matchups, and they're like, you know what, I'd rather not lose and take our chances and still be in with that chance for 3 points in game 3. And that's what we're seeing over here. The stakes are so high. It's not just the playoff place at stake. Also, the top four guarantees you prize money, which is of course a big motivating factor for a lot of these players. So yeah, it's going to be stellar game 3, and can't wait for it to kick off.
Yeah, but before we head off into game number 3, for all the viewers that are watching the stream right now, we have a chance, and you have a chance to get yourself this VFlect robot worth $19.99 for absolutely free. All you've got to do is sign up at www.terravirtua.io/ISL and choose your favorite team jersey, your colors, whatever you want to get it. Have it personalized to your own needs. And yeah, as we said, we're all boarding the hype train. I have boarded. Azim has also lately boarded right now. You might as well also jump in. But now it's business, right? It's talking time where we gotta see or find out who managed to hold themselves off. Now, let's talk about what's on the line, right? FC Goa. If they still manage to win this one, I think all the cushion that they had is completely gone, right? They're going to be sitting on a wooden seat where their backs are going to hurt them a lot from that luxurious cushioned sofa that they had.
Yeah.
But for Jamshedpur FC, it's their journey. It's those 4 months that they've spent. Everything is on the line. So clearly Jamshedpur FC, a really important game for them, and a draw is not something that either of the teams could have themselves contained with.
Yeah, I think a draw would still work just about okay for FC Goa, but that sort of keeps them level with Bengaluru FC, who have nicely got themselves in recent times into a very good position at the edge of that top 4 battle. They're sitting nice and comfortable in 5th place with the game in hand over Northeast United FC. So they're going to be watching this game with a lot of interest to see what happens here. I think for them, the best outcome would probably be a draw between these two teams, and it may well end up being just that as we kick off. Again, 2 of the best co-op units within the eISL going up against each other. We've seen these guys put together some really good moves. Very calm and solid on defense, particularly FC Goa, the way they've defended. They seem to just come and defend in waves and really work well together. And we've seen them growing in confidence over the course of the tournament with their co-op. It is, of course, the reason why they are still in that top 4 battle. It's the clutch performances in the co-op, and now big opportunity finding Kante, and now in the box with Ronaldo, but again the finish not quite there. But a big early chance for FC Goa and early warning signs for Jamshedpur FC, as they'll be hoping to now strike back and get their own shots on goal.
Yeah, and I think more than that, these are vital signs, right? Where FC Goa look really sound. But now Jamshedpur FC, they've got a channel in every power that they have, all the focus and attention. And I think in this particular matchup, the first goal, whoever scores, gets a huge boost, right? Hasn't really two teams this time, it hasn't been a high goal scoring affair. Has been relatively very low, and has been more about creating the chances. Not a lot of chances being converted into goals, and Jamshedpur FC were trying to do the same, and were trying to hit from the right wings. But FC Goa, reading their plans from miles afar, made sure that they retain the possession back into their courts, and now they're going to be trying to build up an attack. So early on, we just saw FC Goa with that one promising chance, but that pretty much sums up what's happened till now.
Yeah, and you can see Jamshedpur FC very aggressive with their press. They're not allowing FC Goa any passing in midfield. And FC Goa sensibly are keeping that ball and waiting for the opportunity. They may need to make a few long balls, a few long passes, which is not really their game. So I think this is a concerted strategy by Jamshedpur FC of just, suffocating them in midfield and forcing them to do things out of their comfort zone. And for the moment, they're able to do that. They've managed to just snip that ball off them in midfield and get their own attack going. And for FC Goa, they might need to rely on the counter attack to get their attacking chances.
Oh yeah, they certainly have to. And the counter attack is something where they have been really good. But more importantly than that, Azim, I feel those through passes that V Sharma really makes the way ahead for Afnan. That's where they really edge it out against their opponents in the co-op. But for Jamshedpur FC, this could have been a promising chance. But FC Goa read that well perfectly, and now they're on a counter-attack of their own, changing the course of the play, trying to get it back to the centres. And De Bruyne passing it on towards Ronaldo Nazario with Kante. He's making sure that they've got enough bodies on the upside. But no, look at this. This could be a very huge break. This could be absolutely devastating. Ronaldo pushing in through those right wings, passes it on back towards Messi. And Messi, you want him to be at that position where he goes for that chalk back finish shot. But now not the case. And Jamshedpur FC, they have to be really patient with the build-up. But trying to go a little ambitious over there. And the attack completely foiled.
Yeah, got the time finish all wrong over there. But I think for Vanchaj, he'll be happy having Afnan in this current form in a co-op game, because typically it has been him who's the playmaker, putting Afnan in. And Afnan, we've seen, he's playing on instinct, getting those finishes in. And that's really the struggle that V Sharma had over there. And not quite sure who the red controller is. I get the feeling it might be V Sharma, because a couple of those finish chances have come to him and he's not been able to get the shot away. So it might be worth, again, reverting back to that thing of V Sharma being the provider and Afnan getting in those situations where he can beat his man or just instinctively take that shot, because it'll be playing to both the players' strengths at this moment in time.
Oh yeah, I mean at this particular point, not much of a difference coming out from both these teams. They're going end to end, and these steals from Jamshedpur FC might help their cause. Could have found Mbappe there, but no. And FC Goa by the skin of their teeth, making sure that they receive the ball really well. Now on the counter attacks, we haven't seen a lot of FC Goa attacks lately. It has been a little bit of a Jamshedpur FC going on for some time. But now with Hakimi passing it on towards De Bruyne, and now towards Ronaldo. Let's see if they can do anything, and nada.
Yeah, not quite happening over there. I think from what I can tell, the red cursor is Vanchaj, and he's getting a bit nervous in those 1v1 situations in the box, just easily giving it away. So I do think that role reversal needs to happen at some point. And good cover back on defense over there. Now winning that ball back, giving Jamshedpur FC a taste of their own medicine. Jamshedpur have been pressing them very, very high. Not allowing them space in the midfield. This time coming forward with Kante, slides that ball in, and there you can see the instinctive work. And this time getting closer to goal, forcing the keeper to work, but much better from FC Goa over there.
I would have loved to see some chip shots coming in over there, but I think one last final attack remaining. Oh, this could be such a bad giveaway, but thankfully, just saved. And Jamshedpur FC, they've got to make this count. They've got to make this matter. The last attack with Mbappe on that left wing. He's got to try and enter inside the box, does not find the way in, and went directly for the shot with Ronaldo Nazario. Does not really matter as the first half has come to a close, but nothing really separating these players over here, Azim. When are we gonna see someone break? It's just not a mental game anymore. It's about resilience. The players not really gassed out, but still, the mind games. It all comes down to who makes that first big mistake, and we've got to see if someone can capitalize on that or not.
Yeah, it's going to be come down to mistakes, and I think it's going to come down to being instinctive in the box, particularly for FC Goa. I don't think that's really a problem for Jamshedpur FC. They've not been able to create that much. Most of their opportunities have come when FC Goa have just given that ball away to them cheaply. So, still think both teams are slightly playing within themselves. They're still being a little reserved because, again, you don't want to lose the game and such a vital game in the first half itself. So I do get the feeling, because the draw is not particularly great, especially for Jamshedpur FC, that if any of the teams is to wake up and really start going for the kill in the second half, I think we'll see Jamshedpur FC being that team at around the 60-70 minute mark, if it's still nil-nil by that time.
Ooh. And at this point, heading off the second half, like you said, it hasn't really been a huge goal scoring affair, but FC Goa are still one of the stronger teams in the co-op matches that we've seen so far. They have to live up to the title that they hold. An important game for both these teams. Jamshedpur FC, the survival clearly on the line, and FC Goa, those little giveaways might hurt them if they concede a goal. But for now, with Marquinhos, they're going to be starting to try and build things up, passing it on towards Kante, towards Gullit, and Messi looks for Ronaldo Nazario on the right wings, but Cancelo reading the ball from Al-Jafar, and has been the same tell-to-tell story over here. Forces me to think, when are we going to see that break? My eyes are yearning for a goal, and for all the viewers out there, I think we're on the same page over here. But now, Kante, let's see, on the counter-attack. Azim, give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a number. When are we seeing someone breaking the deadlock?
Well, I think it could be in minute 60 right here. FC Goa are looking pretty good. Turning away from nobody in particular. Kevin De Bruyne with the shot, and there finally some goal mouth action for us. And of course, while we were busy speculating about when we're going to see the goal, I was actually looking at the remaining fixture list for both these teams, and it's not going to be a particularly easy ride, because Jamshedpur FC, of course, their two remaining matches are up against Kerala Blasters FC and Mumbai City FC. So it's not going to be an easy ride. Oh, and it's a huge stroke of fortune for FC Goa, as the finesse shot somehow managed to get deflected perfectly into the path of Eusebio, and the simplest of finishes, and a huge slice of luck, but they will take that every day of the week.
Oh yeah, I mean, at this point, yes, with open arms, and I think your fortune telling skills are right on point, Azim. I think you've got another career to, of course, consider, along with extra money coming in for you. But yeah, I think for FC Goa, so much needed goal, we can say at this point, such a huge sigh of relief. But this is, again, has been one of those tendencies where you score a goal, you feel that, yeah, I think you're having a good run, and suddenly you concede one. So I think the objective right now for FC Goa at this particular point will come down to the fact that they need to score one more, and not the cleanest of the goals, but like you said, they're gonna take it with open arms.
And Afnan, you can see, very adamantly making a point over there to Vanchaj, saying that, okay, this is what we're going to do. And it's refreshing to see him now almost sort of being the leader of the team, making those big calls. And what a transformation it's been from one match against Jamshedpur FC to the other. We've seen this boy completely grow full circle. And, well, it is now Jamshedpur FC who have no choice. They have to come out and party. They have to come out and attack. And let's see what they can do. I do believe that they have been playing very reserved in this co-op game. They've not really been showing us their entire arsenal. And there we see the tricks and the flicks are out with Ronaldo, but N'Golo Kante there. And the counter-attack was on if he had searched for that long ball, playing a slightly dangerous game by playing it to the keeper. And oh my goodness, if that had been cut out by the striker, that could have been disastrous.
Oh, And at this point, Jamshedpur FC, they've got to put their bodies, anything that they have, they need to somehow at least score an equalizer, and then we can talk about the winner. Because now at this particular moment, a draw is what is something that is not going to save them, right? It's those two goals that they need to do, and they need to get it in quick succession. We've already hit that 70th minute marker. I think they should go all in at this point, right? Get your players up and try and score one in, and then think about getting one more. Conceding a goal does not matter either ways, because you're going
Oh,
home after that. But really wanted to go in with the header, but Hakimi did not allow him that. Now really susceptible to a counter attack again. Another beautiful long ball being played, but Cafu, seeing him after a long time making his comeback, and yeah, that's just about it. And Azim, I think the stars for Jamshedpur FC just are not aligned today.
yeah, I mean, unfortunate for them. Great turn away there from Mbappe to get away from his man, and this could be lights out if they play this right. Looking for the cutback now with Eusebio into that top corner. That is magnificently done. And I do believe the blue cursor is Afnan. I could be wrong, but I think the confidence with which that was fired in, I think it could only have been one player. Again, I could be wrong. Apologies to be Sharma if that was you, but have a look at that.
Oh.
Worked it beautifully on that counter, and another contender for that Terra Virtua super moment of the match.
I think that is it, right? That is exactly what seals this game off. And Jamshedpur FC, with heavy hearts, they've got to play the next 10 minutes, right? I don't see them coming back into this game, even in the world of FIFA, with how closely this match has been contested, and that is clearly lights out. Good night, not just from this matchup, but from the eISL for Jamshedpur FC. But yeah, again, they're going to be taking in a lot of experience with them, and FC Goa just be proving why they're the better co-op unit, finding those chances, finding through everything, and the brothers believing in each other and finally succeeding as the final 7 minutes remain, as Jamshedpur FC have no choice but to go all out. Let's see if they can find any consolation goals.
Yeah, and again, I was just having a look at the schedule, and yes, if Jamshedpur FC do not get the win here, mathematically they are pretty much out, because FC Goa and Northeast United FC still have to play each other. So that means out of those two teams, at least one team will get at least 1 point, and that is what the 1 point that will condemn Jamshedpur FC to 5th place or below. And they've had a good run. I think you had to say they've had their moments, but just in a couple of those big crucial games, things didn't go their way. And even the first goal that they conceded in the co-op game,
Yeah.
huge slice of fortune over there. But again, the benefits of taking those shots, you never know what could happen. That deflection could fall your way. It's all possible. Now Messi stands at our back post. Ronaldo with the header, and Van der Sar pulling out an incredible stop there. And yeah, as we are now into extra time, or stoppage time rather, I think that's pretty much game over for Jamshedpur FC. In this game, FC Goa will be getting the 3 points, and Jamshedpur FC sadly will now be battling it out for the title of the best of the rest. And who will be joining them? Could be Bengaluru FC, could be Northeast United FC, could be FC Goa themselves, who are battling it out for that 5th spot.
Yeah, I think at a certain point I really felt Jamshedpur FC gave that up and finally get to see that chalk back finesse. But yeah, that pretty much sums this game up. And all right, it's not the barber's nerve for V Sharma, as he's managed to still get lucky and edge it out with those 3 points, right? And this was such an intense game for FC Goa. And Afnan, I think this lad is all pumped up. Finally gets his sweet revenge tonight, and really held Akash Ash till the very end. But it was again one of those games which did end with a draw. Still better than a 6-1, right?
Yeah, they're better than a 6-1 for sure. But listen, at the end of the day, in both circumstances, the result was the same. FC Goa picking up those 3 points, and it took a while for this game to get going. But suddenly, we saw Kevin De Bruyne doing all these pirouettes in the box, and then, of course, we saw that kind deflection for FC Goa falling straight to the feet of Eusebio in the box. We see over here the meta finesse shot cued, I think, from from Pele, was it, going for the left foot, and then it was actually Marquinhos' interception, which just fell kindly. It's one of the best assists of the season, and there you can see Afnan getting pumped up, and then of course at 2-0 it was always going to be game over.
Yeah, and somewhere down the line, I'm kind of a little sad because we are approaching those days when we've got to say goodbye to a few of those teams, and today is, of course, one of those days, right? They still have a few more games to play. They still have, those matches where they can, come out and play with their hearts out, and that is something that Arvind also clearly said, right? But we know it was all of a sudden. He knows that the pressure was still on, and
Yeah.
by all means they meant that this game meant a lot to them, because had they won that, that could have still had them in contention at the very least, if not at the best of the chances. But finally, let's have a
Yeah.
look at the scorecard, as it all came down to the co-op game where FC Goa managed to win it 2-0, and there you can see a very cagey affair of Afnan and Akash Ash, a 2-2 scoreline, and then it was that V Sharma Afnan magic working in that second half, and as a result of which FC Goa standing true to their traits, to their abilities, a better co-op team for the evening, and have managed to secure those important 3 points. But Razim, who is the hero of the match going to be?
Well, I think it's probably going to be Afnan. There you go, scoring 3 goals. I think 2 goals in his individual game and 1 co-op goal as well. So very richly deserved hero of the match for him. He was the guy who, of course, kept FC Goa in it, and of course then got the goals when it mattered in the co-op. And of course, I think very poetic from the guy who was hammered 6-1 in his first game against Jamshedpur FC. Now comes back to win again and get that individual hero of the match title. And what about that for a chip?
Even Akash was really flabbergasted, just surprised, taken aback. कि भाई ये क्या कर दिया? And when you were thinking that that is where it all ended, look at the quality of this one. Those really long reads on Afnan is what really sets him out, and clearly shows about how he has transcended into the eISL, every day improving with the confidence just beaming out of his body, right? And that is exactly what FC Goa needs at this point, right? Both the players in really good contention, but now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Terra Virtua super moment of the matchup, and we're going to see which was that one particular goal, and yes, the final goal that was like the final nail in the coffin for Jamshedpur FC by the players of FC Goa, which decided their fate, and that's just going to be out here right now.
Yes, of course. Unfortunately, Jamshedpur FC have been buried by FC Goa, and Akash has been turned to ash, shall we say, by the finishing prowess that Afnan has been showing today. But a great run for Jamshedpur FC. They're still, of course, in contention to finish 5th in the eISL, which, of course, is no small achievement to be one of the just narrowly missing out on those playoff spots. But yeah, let's have a look at the leaderboard now, and we can see the impact. FC Goa go nicely up the table, now sitting in 5th place level. It was a very crucial win for them because it takes them above Bengaluru FC, and now both FC Goa and Bengaluru FC will be sizing up Northeast United FC. FC Goa are going to be playing Northeast United FC in the next couple of days, and that's going to be yet another sort of firecracker eliminator kind of match. And we do have now Afnan waiting to have a chat with us. Let's head straight over. And Afnan, congrats, hero of the match. And I just want to say what a great transformation it's been from the first time you played Jamshedpur FC, first LAN event, first day, got hammered 6-1, and then you come back to be hero of the match in the return fixture. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I still remember that game against Akash Ash, and yeah, I mean, I'm very happy. Like, I feel like I've come a long way, and Vansh has also helped me a lot in this. So, like, the major credit of this goes to him only. Like, he has helped me a lot. So, like, I'm really happy, and like after winning today's game, like it was a must-win for us actually, because if we have lost today or even got a draw, we would have been in a very bad situation. But we got a win in the end again in the co-op game. So like me and Vansh both are very happy.
But now this question goes out, right? You've been at your best. I think you're at the pinnacle of your performance. But from Vanch's side, we're seeing those flurry of draws coming out. Again, it goes down. Is it the haircut, or is he not feeling himself?
No, I don't think it's the haircut, but everyone goes through some rough times. It's just his bad phase right now. Like in the starting, like I wasn't even getting a win. Like I was losing all my games, and at least he's getting a draw for the team. So like he's going through a rough time, but we all know what he's capable of, and he's gonna come back very strong. Trust me.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and I mean we've got a great battle for fourth place going on. You, Bengaluru FC, Northeast United FC, you guys will be playing Northeast United FC in your upcoming matches as well. So we're really looking forward to that. So looking forward to more exciting matches and all the best.
Thank you, guys.
Likewise. So, all right. So, I mean, this sort of a brotherhood between every single player that has developed with their
Yeah.
teammates, right? At a certain point, thankfully, we just had them for like 4 months over here. Otherwise, the fifth or sixth time we're talking about marriages happening. But either ways, now it's the time where we know we love to give away a lot of things, but for you guys, everyone could be a winner, right? You could get your hands on the VFlect robot, and it's the exclusive dancing robot of exclusive property of the Terra Virtua. All you've got to do is sign up. It's worth $19.99, but if you do that, it's absolutely for free. Head over to www.terravirtua.io/ISL. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, FC Goa still in the run for that top four. They've got those competitors out there: Bengaluru FC, Northeast United FC, everyone eyeing for that coveted fourth spot as the battle has become more exciting than ever. But that being said, gentlemen, we are finally done with the matches for an evening. Before we head out, a huge shout out to our sponsors, as the eISL is powered by Coca-Cola. Our associate sponsors: Hero, esports partners, Nordwind Gaming, our platform partners, PlayStation, and our digital collectibles partners, Terra Virtua, for making this event happen. And this is happening quite often, right? Usually we say our goodbyes. We'll see you next week, but today Azim and I, we're gonna be taking a leave, and we're gonna meet you tomorrow because we have 3 action-packed matches for you guys. So enjoy your Sunday, enjoy the match days, and see you tomorrow.